First, the motivation. Why do we come to Finland? And why did I come to Finland, even though when the fees were imposed? It's mainly because of the excellent education reputation that Finland have, and they always top in the indexes, the international indexes. And there was this good thing about Finland to have this opportunity to discover new culture and study in a new environment. That's always the fun part for us. And most importantly, the opportunities for career development that Finland offers. It has earned itself a good reputation of having its IT market booming every year, and there are more and more jobs for it. So, and then having this hope or expectation that I might be paying fee for now, but for the second year, if I do good, I might put a request to the dean of my school, and I should get my fee waived off for the second year, because this is the norm in our development countries. This is how they provide incentive to the students who do good. So yeah, so just to give you a perspective, the total amount that for master students that we have to pay at Aalto University is 15,000 euros. In addition to that, we also have to prepare 7,000 euros for the yearly expenses. So we need to have this money, this total. So we need to have 2.2 million in total. So if you want to come to Finland, it's not just the fee. And then for the second year, they start sending you emails early as June. You're not yet finished your semester. And then you have to make sure that you have this money prepared, already have it you. And then you're also applying for the visa for the second year. So in total, it is 4.4 million that a student has to prepare or have at their disposal when they are in Finland, the fee-paying students. And this is the full fee. Yeah, so why is it difficult for us? The purchasing power in development countries is 3:1. For example, it means that like you can buy 3 times the same thing with euro in our countries. And that not everyone has an external funding. They all have to rely on their parents and things like that. No, they do not get supported by the government all the time. We don't have much of those kind of scholarships. And similarly, the academic scholarship is pretty much the same thing. So how do we manage the fee even when it's so high, and even when we can't do it and we have to rely? Our parents, this is one of the biggest resources that our parents try to save us. This is the one way of saving your investments. So, for example, my parents had to sell their house, and there are other students who had to do it to pay the fee. I have spent my share of inheritance that my parents would have left for me on my master's degree. And some students, when they come here, the only job that they can do are postie. They have to deliver working after midnight, because in the daytime, of course, it's not easy to get a job that you can continue with your studies. So you are looking for options that pays you or you can work at after midnight, because in the morning you again have to attend the classes. And then there are students who borrow loans from their relatives, because sometimes they don't have the option of selling their real estate property. And one other way of having to manage it is by reducing your study time to 1 year. There is this one student, he's sitting here among us. He completed 85 ECTS in the first year, so that he can enroll so he saves this money and he doesn't have to enroll for the 4th semester, and he finishes his degree in the 3rd year, and he has to put a request that I'll graduate in 3rd semester, and then I should have done my thesis as well, because this saves him 7,500 euros, so why not? Disappointingly, the university was not so helpful. He asked that, when can he submit his thesis, and he was forced that he do it in November and he graduate in December, or he pays 7,500 euros. So now the student has completed his ECTS, he is almost done with thesis, but the Aalto University is asking him to, you either graduate in December, we don't care, or you pay 7,500 euros, even though you have completed everything else. In addition to that, when we have this responsibility and our parents give us so much money, we have this pressure of trying to minimize our expenditure or monthly expenditure as much as possible. Even though the MIGD sets it to be 560, and despite that we have this money with us, we still reduce it to as much as possible, and that is sometimes the 350 euro target we all try to achieve. Sometimes it goes over that, of course, but that is the target we set for ourselves. If we pay 250 in accommodation, and then we try to spend our month in 100 euros. So what happened as a result? When we compare ourselves to those students who didn't have to pay the fee and who had 3-year time or maybe 4, or what happens to the EU international students when they come here, we miss out on a lot of extracurricular activities and events that might have helped us made friends with Finnish people, with other students, and might have known them, and through them known people in the companies. We didn't get to do that chance, because when you have so much credits to complete, and you also have, in addition to that, this pressure that you have to do it, or else you have to pay 15,000 euro again and again. So it's not realistic. Working alongside studies, as I already discussed, becomes nearly impossible when you have so many credits to complete, and there is limited time, and you have worries that you are paying fee. So there is this high cost for every course that you are taking, or that there's a high cost that you are paying to be in the university. So it becomes really difficult to get any experience outside university. And then when, of course, when we come here, we want to stay here, and for that to stay here, you have to learn the local language, the Finnish language, most importantly. But it becomes very difficult when you have to complete 90 credits, and you have to complete 60 credits from the majors, you want to do 30 for the minors, and then you have to learn the Finnish language as well. You have no time to do that. I have taken the Finnish 1 course, but other than that, I do not have time to stay longer in the university. I cannot afford this to learn Finnish, even though I want to, even though my fellows wanted to, so that we can better integrate here. And all this heads to having stress feelings all the time when we look at other students, and then we look at our condition, not having room enough for recreation, relaxation as they have. Because sometimes when we are taking courses, they have this freedom of taking 1 courses per period. We have 3 or 4 courses every period, because we don't have time. We have to finish it in 2 years. And what happens in our countries is that the good students are given scholarships. They are incentivized through fee waivers. And when we find ourselves sitting among 20 or 30 people, and you're the only one paying the fee, you feel like a second-class student. And this is not just my story. This has come from the opinion of majority of students. So this is just not my personal story. So this happens. And the challenges that it brings is that when you have such a tight schedule, and you have to complete your 60 majors, the course you're specializing in, and you want to do something outside it. For example, if you want to take few courses from the business or the economics, it's very important for the engineers that they do. But now we are more focused on completing the technical courses from all of the 90 ECTS. So this totally reduces the possibility of doing that. There is excessive study load. In a sense that, like, for example, I said that, like, students are completing 85 credits, 90 credits, but this happens at a cost, and this happens at a cost of the students' mental, physical, and social well-being. So students are doing it. I mean, like, this sounds like it's working amazingly, but it happens at a cost of someone's mental, physical, social well-being. And then there is this problem that, as admitted, that I think when this was rolled out, it wasn't thought too good, because you pay the fee in the beginning, and you complete your credits, And now in the final semester, you are not taking any course. You're only doing your thesis. Sometimes you're doing your thesis outside the university, outside the company, and yet you have paid for that semester. So it doesn't make sense. Why do students have to pay their fee even though they're not even coming to university anymore? They're coming to the company, and they yet still have to pay the fee they have, because it's advanced. It's paid in advance in the beginning of the year. And there's no motivation to do exchange studies when you have already paid so much to one university. Why would you risk going to spend 6 months somewhere else, and when you have this constant pressure of completing it on time? The concerns it brings, this happened as a result when we compare ourselves to those students who have been here, who took their time, who sometimes spent 2.5 years at university, sometimes they took 3 years. They were well settled when they graduated. For us, that's now that I'm from the first batch, what happens in June 2017? I have to graduate. Do I get a job immediately? Do I not? Am I forced to leave Finland? Because at this point it feels like I have to look for options elsewhere if I am not able to secure a job. So these are some of the concerns post-graduation that we have. And yeah, I mean, like, there is lack of information from the university. You pay full fee, and then there has been no clear policy. What happens if a student fall ill? Will he be compensated? Because from the impression we got that when a student was completing his thesis and he was asked to do it in November and not in December, then from based on that we can expect that I don't think so that we will be given any compensation, or anyone would think about it. And yeah, as I discussed, that we have to pay even for our thesis. And as discussed earlier, that it has to, I think the model has to improve, that either the students don't pay for the thesis, or the students are given a chance to, or given a surety that their thesis will be funded from the university. So there's this incentive given to students, and they are given this motivation to go on. Why? Even though, even if they're paying the fee, so more students will be coming, they'll have this motivation that they might cover their fee through thesis. But if it's not available, for example, I'm looking for thesis right now, and even the companies sometimes say that, like, we don't have fundings. So, and my professor has been telling me that go to the companies. Now I'm going to companies, and the companies don't have funded thesis, so, and I'm paying fees, so what happens? What happens if we are not, for example, if you are left with maybe, what happens if you're not able to complete thesis in 6 months? For example, it would be ideal if I start in January. I have completed all my credits. I should be completing my credits by December. What happens if I take 8 months or 9 months? Do I have to pay 15,000 euro just because I couldn't complete it in 6 months? So this, as a result, students have to do this thesis not because they really want to, but they want to sign up for this particular topic, but because it has become a formality for us. And if we were given a choice, we would even want to skip on that. So this time limitation has greatly compromised on the quality. Now we are doing things for the sake of things, not because we really want to, or the freedom we initially thought that we have when we came here to, and we started here in Aalto. So yeah, based on that, I think there are so many policymakers who can deduce what are the problems, and based on that, you would know better how to solve them once the problem is acknowledged, or once we tell you. There could be something done about it in a way that the students pay per semester and not for yearly, yeah. And there should be some opportunities given to students based on academic excellence. For example, if they're getting 90% out of 100%, if they're getting 90%, they could be given an incentive to waive their fee for the next semester. And this could motivate the international students to come here, even if they're paying fee, and not have them discouraged. And similarly, if paying in installment is possible, I think it would be a lot more easier for students that they pay and yet still they come. So that's all I think I have to say for now. And it is, when I was coming here, I didn't have this impression that there will be this admission that there are problems with this model, and but it is very helpful that you guys were discussing that it is not the perfect model. And now that, even though we don't expect that it could be rolled back, because I have already paid the fee, I'm graduating, I might not be even here when there's development based on this. But it is good to see that the problem is being acknowledged, and there will be improvement, and there's this opportunity to speak about it here right in front of you. And I think that's all. Thank you.